Hi, this is Linda with the Life Station Express, the relay station. We bring the news to you, and as you can tell, I'm standing in my camper. We will be here for a few more weeks, and then we will be packing up and going back to our apartment. But I just wanted to share a little something, just a little catch up with you. And I wanted to show you a couple things that I've done this summer. And the first thing would be my friend AJ had a gathering where we each did a painting of a pumpkin, and we just did that a couple weeks ago. Her daughter-in-law, Deanna, was the teacher, so we each did our own little pumpkin picture painting there. So I love it because it's got a lot of my favorite color, turquoise, in it. And last weekend, Saturday, I went to my high school reunion, number 50, the big 50, and we were each given a flower. One of our classmates brought flowers for all the gals, so that is the flower that I got, and I just love it. One of the projects that we did here at the campground was to make a habitat for bees, and I didn't know you could do this, but next spring we're going to hang these up in a bush or a tree or off of some limb or something, and it's a habitat for bees. They'll go in there and they'll make a home. Anyway, we did those while we were here with one of the campers. She showed us how to do that and gave us the supplies and showed us how to do it. And another project that we had at the campground was making these really cool campers. It's a ceramic planter, and I'll have to tag the lady's website that was in charge of showing us how to make these. I hope you can see it. And a lot of the flowers are actually made from wood. I think it's tapioca wood. And we just made our own little arrangements, and that was mine. There were some yellow campers, and mine was an orange one. So a project that we did here at the campground. I'll show you this as well. One of my camper friends made this for me last year, and it's a little Christmas scene. My friend Chris made that and gave it to me. So I leave it out all year round, well, all summer while we're here in the camper. And I guess that's it for now. I just wanted to share a couple things and catch you up on a couple things. Now, like I said, my high school reunion was Saturday, and we had a wonderful time. It's always a bit of a challenge when you're there for a dinner. We went for a dinner, of course. We had dinner, we had a DJ, and we got to see our friends that we haven't seen for, well, a lot of the people I haven't seen for 5 years since our last reunion, which was the 45th year reunion. And I went to Frederick High School in Maryland, Frederick, Maryland, and it was wonderful. Oh, the clock is right above my head. See, actually, I had to take the battery out of the clock because it ticks really loud. So, but still kind of shows up there on top of my head. Anyway, one thing I noticed, and as you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I have two things that I talk about mostly, maybe three. The first one would be my faith. The second one would be my health. And the third one would be things going on here at the campground. So I kind of covered that. We did some projects here this summer that we just really had a good time. Mostly the gals get together down at the rec hall and take care of, handling that. We have a couple gals here that are very artsy and crafty, and they take care of them and give us the supplies and show us how to do the things. Actually, my grandson has a great time. He was here, and I'm going to step out for a second. I forgot to show you the latest project that we did that my friend here at the campground, her name is Linda, put together for us. And they were little apples. And we put them, they have magnets so we can put them on the refrigerator. So she saved me a packet so that I could give it to my grandson Jonathan. He likes to come here and do the projects as well, but he wasn't here this weekend, so he missed it. So she gave me one to give to him. It was really cool. Anyway, just wanted to share that. And before I forgot. Anyway, back to the reunion. Something that I discovered, and it kind of gave me pause just to think about some things. I have been on the ketogenic way of eating for the last almost 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in November. And because of the way I've changed my eating, I've improved some of my blood work numbers. Not that they were bad. I've normally been in an average range for like blood work as far as your A1C and that kind of thing. Although I did bring mine down a couple points. I think it's 5.2, 5.4. Anyway, it came down a couple points. Anyway, in the last year, and I told you before in my last video that I had the carotid artery test, the Doppler test of my carotid arteries, and it seems per those tests and what my doctor thinks when he looked at the report that my body has actually formed a additional pathway for my blood to go to my brain on this side that was totally occluded a few years ago. So between eating correctly and changing the way I eat, getting off sugar, getting off seed oils, getting off of bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, anything that would raise your blood sugar. In addition to that, I take nattokinase, and I just posted on my Food, Faith, and Friends page on Facebook a video that I came across last year where two doctors were talking about nattokinase and what it does for your body, and it's wonderful for your circulatory system, your heart, all your blood veins, your vascular system. And I just reposted that, so if you want to go back and check that out, I would highly recommend you looking into nattokinase if you have any kind of cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure, clogged arteries, anything like that. And Richard and I both take that every day now. I would, again, highly recommend looking into that, taking it, maybe looking at that video. And if you're on Facebook, find my page, Food, Faith, and Friends, Let's Get Healthy, and you'll see that video there. Anyway, I was a little shocked, I guess I would say, when I discovered that sitting at my table at the high school reunion, there were 7 of us there, 3 couples and 1 other person, and 4 people in that group of 7 are diabetic. And if you would look at any of those 4 people, they are not overweight, they are not obese, they are not in any way look like they would have some kind of an issue with their body. Now, you can look at me and some people say, well, what would she have going on in her body? Well, they wouldn't know that I've had a small stroke. They wouldn't know now unless you really, really took pause to watch me as I talk, because a little bit of my residual speech, residual, I guess you would say, effects from the stroke are still there. Again, it's hard to say my S's. If I talk too fast, sometimes I have to stop and slow down a little bit. If I get cold, which is very interesting. If I get cold, like this morning we had our Bible study, the last one, the final one for the camping season, down at the pavilion, sitting, at a picnic table. It's chilly this morning. And by the time we got finished, we were down there a couple hours. I was getting chilly, and it just is a little more difficult to spit out the words. Not my brain, but my mouth. So there's a little residual, but anyway, I'm very fortunate to be able to move and do what I do, every day, things that we do. I'm not hindered at all in that. So saying that, my friends that were with me, there were 7 of us at the table, and I'm only saying this, I'm not going to, of course, mention anybody's name or anything. It was, if you want to take a percentage, and I know that's not a correct way to measure a percentage, like in a group of people like that, but I just thought it was kind of remarkable that 7 of us at the table, 4 are diabetic, and that tells you a little bit about where we are in this country as far as health-wise. And they're all 4 working on things. They're not like, being lackadaisy or anything. It's just a fact that out of 7, 4 people had diabetes, and it just gave me pause. My husband's he was one of them. Richard has had diabetes for decades, and he's, of course, with me behind him, working on that. We've changed what we do. We've changed, how we eat. We've changed, taking the natto and that kind of thing. And I guess my point with making this video is 50 years out of high school. We are all either 67 or turning 68 this year. I'm a little bit younger than the rest because my birthday's in November. So I'm not quite 68 yet, but in a few weeks I will be. And we're making plans to have a picnic. Well, maybe not a picnic, a get together of some kind. Last time we had a picnic, but we're planning on getting together for our 70th birthday, which will be in 2 years. And that's so hard to say or to think about. But anyway, just to think about, our health journey as we go along, and what we don't know when we're in our 20s, 30s, and 40s about how to live. Do we need to change something? If we feel good, I'm telling you, most of the people that I know don't realize something's going on within their whole body system until there's something that happens, like I had the stroke. You don't know because you pretty much feel good. As we get older, we kind of tend to say, oh, well, I'm getting older, so this is going to, happen. That's going to happen. I'd also noticed something too. A lot of people that are on a statin drug have pain, joint pain, and that kind of thing. That is a side effect of taking a statin, which I will never take. But anyway, the doctors have continually asked me if I would take a statin, or could they give me a statin, and I say no. There's no research out there that will prove you need to lower your cholesterol. So that is a whole nother subject, and I won't go there. But anyway, we just don't notice these things as we go along that may be happening in our body. We are happy with our family. We're happy with our life. We go through doing what we need to do until something, boom, hits us. And I would rather that not happen for my friends and family. So that's why I'm on here. That's why I say stop eating sugar. And I know it's hard, and I know it's difficult, but when someone would say to me, but I love it. It's like when you look at that candy bar, or you look at that pastry or that jelly or whatever it is, try to picture it with a skull and crossbones on it, because that's really what it is. And I think I just wanted to make this video because I care about my friends. I care about my family. I would like to see you whole and healthy. And have I always done the perfect meal? Have I always done what I'm supposed to do? Not always, no. And actually, when we were at the reunion, I had a very small piece of cake. Richard had a very small piece of cake. We don't deny ourselves things to the point of ridiculousness, but in our everyday life, we do not eat sugar. We just do not. It's not in the house. I do not buy it. There are no candy bars here. There's no ice cream here. There's no bread in our house. If I want bread, I'll make a chaffle and use that for a bun or a piece of bread. We've had tomato soup with grilled cheese that I'll make with a chaffle. It's not the same. No, it's not the same. But, it's going to be helpful to us. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I'm so glad to be here, upright, walking and talking. I can talk to people. I can see my family. I can drive my car. There are things that other people haven't been able to do. And I noticed with some of my classmates that, some people can't do everything they used to do. And we have quite a long list growing now of people that are deceased. And yes, we're getting older, but, we want to put in as much effort as we can to keep our life consistent with being healthy and the things you can do to be healthy. And one thing I know I do need to do for myself, and to keep, it's just one more thing that I need to practice and get into the habit of making a routine, is doing some kind of weightlifting, whether it's just standing up and sitting down off of a chair or the couch 10 times in a row, or if it's actually picking up weights and using them. It's something that I need I've always been a smaller person, and we are the ones that get osteoporosis, which they say I have. And, we need to be careful. So I'm going to try this winter when we go back to the apartment to work out some sort of weightlifting exercise, something. Not going to go to the gym. I have no desire to go to the gym, but there are many things I can do at my home on my own, and I'm going to look into that. It's just one more thing to get on the internet, see what's out there, and apply whatever you can from that piece to your own life. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And now that I've said it, you can keep me accountable. If you remember, hey Linda, you said you were going to work on, getting some weights or working on your bone structure, your muscles. I want to work on my muscles. I'm not a weak person. I've never been like weak, but I'm not a big person, so I don't have a lot of what's the word? I don't know, I'm not bulked. I don't want to bulk up, of course. I could never do that, but I can put strength in my arms, in my legs, and in my core. We can get stronger, and that's what I'm going to work toward. I'm going to aim toward that. So I think that's all I had to say. I just want everyone to be as healthy and happy as possible. I know I kind of live in that unicorn and rainbows place sometimes. I'm just an optimist, and I think if we do what we can for ourselves, it's not selfish to take care of ourselves. Now, we don't want to become self-centered. That is not what we want to do. We want to be able to be the best we can be for those that are around us. We want to be a good example, and I want to be that way in both my faith and my health and all the other things that maybe I'm part of. So if I read a book and I do a video about a book, if I learn about a new subject and I come on here and I tell you about it, it's because I care, and I want you to be the best you can be. I want to be the best I can be. Is every day good? No, every day is not good. Every day is not good, but more good days than not. And that's how I want to leave you. I'm going to leave you in a place where you say, hey, what is one thing that I can do? What is one thing I can change? What is one thing maybe I need to look into? What do I need to research? Is it food? Is it my faith? Is it where I'm living? Is it decorating? Is it going out and meeting new people? Is it learning how to do a new skill? Is it a craft? Is it study, research, whatever it is? We are never too old to do that. And I'll say this again, my old pastor, well, not that he's old, my former pastor that I had, Pastor Chris, would say, remain fat, faithful, available, and teachable. We need to stay fat, and that's a good fat. And yes, there are good fats. We're not going to go there right now. There are good fats, your butter, your lard, your bacon grease, whatever, tallow. Those are good fats. And okay, I'm getting to the point where I'm just rambling. All right. I just want to be able to leave a mark. I just want to be able to say something to someone else. And I'm just using this platform to do that. And I hope that's how you see this. I'm not trying to be bossy. I'm not trying to be accusatory or anything like that. I place everything back on myself. What have I done that I need to change? What have I got here going on that I can improve? And what can all of us do? So whether it's camping, whether it's doing a craft, or having someone, admiring a gift that someone brought you, or if it's getting a little prize from bingo. Richard won this in playing bingo here at the campground. And whatever it is, let's look outside of ourselves a little bit. Let's look at the world we live in, and let's see where we can be the person that maybe wants to improve a little something, whether it's on ourselves or our environment or whatever it is. But we can do that, can't we?